He opens my heart and eyes, fills my heart with sex and knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic praise, I am the to make a scripture sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend and abode of the Lord, Master. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Who is the shade of your lotus feet? Your fame is spread all over the world. We take shelter in your lotus. Jagat Guru Shiva Bhai Ki Jai. Jai Prabhupada. मेरा दीवाना
Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. One more time, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, oh Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go, 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 go. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go, 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 go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. 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 Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Hey Govinda, 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 Govinda. Gopala, 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 Gopala. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Hey Gopala, 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 Gopala. Oh Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Johnny Kelly Vishnu Vishnu Bhavanam, Puribraj Church Started Shishmal Divine Loving Grace, AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Joy, Jai Kelly Vishnu Vishnu Bhavanam, Puribraj Church Started Shishmal, Divine Grace Bhakti Sarana Saraswati, Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Joy, Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prince God Krishna Chaitanya Brahman Dharma, the Shia Dvaita Gadar Rashvasi, Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai, Shri Hare Krishna Gogovinath, Sham Kundara Kunde, Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Tirunelpuri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yogi Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Gomati Goseva Ki Jai, Most Merciful Lordship Shishi Radha Vrindavan Chanda Ki Jai, Sham Mera Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Oh, glories of some devotees. Oh, glories of some devotees. Oh, glories of some devotees. Oh, glories, Lord Sri Shishi Guru and Sri Ranga, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, we welcome all our guests. We will have now a big Srimad Bhagavatam class. Our lecturer will sit at the end of the temple room. We sit down on these carpets. For the parents with children, we know that for them it's difficult to sit down for 1 hour. We have a children's room off Lord Nishringadev's altar, and they can actually spend their time there. We have many events for you today. At 9:30 after breakfast. At 9:30 we serve the breakfast. 9:30 we offer praise to Lord Nishringadev. 10:30 we meet in front of the temple. We go on Govardhan Parikrama. Up on the hill where Radha Kund, Sharma Kund, Lord Shiva was protecting the holy Dham. We have a workshop at our teaching garden opposite the lodge, 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Mitte Aarti 12:30, followed by class, and we serve the lunch prasad 1:30 in the afternoon. For the ones who are staying tonight, please look at our schedule. We will finish our day today with the Swan Boat Festival 8:45, meeting in front of the temple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone can come and sit over here. We're gonna sit over on nice, and have small children.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for coming to visit with us here in Vrindavan. It's our great pleasure to have you. Actually, there's 4 things. You know, everyone wants to understand the dharma and follow the dharma. So there's 4 things involved in the dharma. There's truthfulness. We all want to be truthful. And there's compassion. We all want to be compassionate. And there's cleanliness and health, internal and external, cleanliness and health. We all want health. And also there's a little austerity. This is the 4th element in dharma, to perform some austerity. So austerity means, like in the previous ages, austerity meant that you leave your family, go into the Himalayan mountains, perform some tapasya. Is that the way it's been?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Oh, by the way, I have these files for you in the car.
All of you.
Okay, thank you. So, let us begin by doing a little kirtan.
everybody please get situated and please come and listen to Sankirtan Prabhu's class. Hare Krishna.
This is not working. Okay, thank you. So thank you so very much. And we'll start off with a little chanting. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the chapter 25, text 9. This chapter is called The Glories of Devotional Service. Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is devotional service. And so I'll the text over here. Thank you. Nyādo Bhagavan Pumsam Yā'adyo Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila Lokasya Tamasandasya Lokasya Tamasandasya Chakshu Surya Ivo Titaha Chakshu Surya Ivo Titaha Yādyo Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila Lokasya Tamasandasya Chakshu Surya Ivo Titaha Yādyo Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila Lokasya Tamasandasya Chakshu Surya Ivo Titaha Ladies? Anyone else? Bhagavan Pumsam Ya, he who, Adya, the origin, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pumsam, of all living entities, Ishvara, the Lord, Vai, in fact, Bhavan, you, Kila, indeed, Lokasya, of the universe, Tamasa, by the darkness of ignorance, Andasya, blinded, Chakshu, I, Surya, the sun, Eva, like, Uditaha, risen. And so the text, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have risen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. And then we have the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Kapila Muni is accepted as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Here the word Adya means the origin of all living entities, and Pumsa, Ishvara, means the Lord, Ishvara, of all living entities. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Here Prabhupada injects this little phrase, Ishvara Parama Krishna. This is a phrase from the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. And so Prabhupada interjects this reminder that Krishna, the Lord, Ishvara, means the supreme controller. Ishvara Parama. Parama is the supreme, Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme controller, and it's explained Satchitananda Vigraha, that what is he composed of, the supreme controller? Sat means eternality, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is total joy, blissfulness. And the interesting thing is, Krishna is composed of these things, but we're all, in our original identity, we're all Satchidananda. So let me go on with the purport here to end the purport Prabhupada has given. Kapila Muni is the direct expansion of Krishna, who is the sun of spiritual knowledge. As the sun dissipates the darkness of the universe, so when the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down, it at once dissipates the darkness of Maya. We have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, our eyes are of no value. Similarly, without the light of the Supreme Lord, or without the guidance of the spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. So let us go back to the verse. I'll say it and you can repeat. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to dissipate the rays of the to disseminate the rays of the sun, in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Gita Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pachani Nirvasesha Sinyavari Paskata Desatani. And so this verse actually ties in very closely to what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 7, 4-7. Does anybody know that verse? Yada yada hi dharmasya. So here Krishna is proclaiming that whenever and wherever there is a descent or some deterioration of the dharma and the rise of adharma, then the Lord appears to correct these things. And so, of course, over the ages, there's different ways that the Lord has appeared through his personal incarnations, various avatars, also through the appearance of extraordinary devotees and sadhus, and also through the appearance of the Shastra, like the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, are especially meant for this age of Kali Yuga. So we're in a dilemma here, that we are residents of the Kali Yuga, and there's so much disturbance, so much agitation in the Kali Yuga. You know, in the previous ages, people, they had more facilities, bodily facility. But in the age of Kali Yuga, the bodily facility is diminishing. Actually, in the previous ages, people lived for 1,000 or 10,000 years. Even in the Bible, there are accounts where people are living for 800 and 900, 1,000 years. That was in the previous age. Here in this age, people are lucky if they reach 100 years. But the problem is, not only is our bodily capacity diminishing, but also our mental capacity. So even if the body lasts for 100 years, the mental capacity is also gradually, slowly over the years diminishing. And so not only that, but our kindness and mercy in this age of Kali Yuga, it's such a struggle. We really don't have time to, very often, to think about other people and the suffering that they're going through, because we're just scrambling to maintain ourselves. This is a difficult age. So in this age, people are full of anxiety. There's such a competition. There's such an intense struggle for maintaining ourselves. This is going on. And Prabhupada, he explains that there's only suffering. Once he was a devotee, he was speaking in front of Prabhupada, and he was explaining, the devotee was explaining how in this material world we have our fair share. There is some happiness and also some suffering as well. We're getting this happiness and suffering. But Prabhupada interrupted. He said, no, only suffering in the material world. And so even though we're not suffering, this requires some empathy. Because even though we may not be suffering at this moment, there are other people in other parts of the world that are suffering. And so Prabhupada had extraordinary empathy, extraordinary kindness and mercy, that he understood that as long as there is suffering in the material world, no one can be happy. So this is called empathy, that we can identify and acknowledge the suffering of others. And so in the material world, we need some guidance, especially in the Kali Yuga. You know, whatever you want to do in life requires some guidance. If you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, you have to seek guidance. You have to go to the university and get a degree. If you want to become a musician even, or a farmer, you know, you need guidance from other farmers or other musicians to help you learn a musical instrument, to help you understand how to farm properly, that there are certain seasons. So, you know, the farming is going on in the springtime. It can't go on in the wintertime. There's so many intricate things involved in farming, in planting the seeds. in watering the garden, in getting the proper sunshine. All of these things are very important. But you know what? We're not necessarily, we can't necessarily control these things. So there's one other important element, because we may control, we're plowing the land, we're planting the seeds, we may even be able to water the garden. Sometimes we don't have time to water the garden. And so we require the rain. We require especially the sunshine. We're not supplying, for the most part, the rain or the sunshine. No, that is being supplied by someone else. So we're dependent. As we wander through this world, we're totally dependent on the welfare, the guidance of others. And so Prabhupada explains that actually leadership, having the proper leadership for guidance, is very important. I think Prabhupada says it's important to have proper leaders. And leaders have to understand the dharma. So we can't have a foolish leader. If, you know, in the Bible it says that the blind are following the blind, then they both fall into a ditch. So we need leaders, we need guidance from proper sources who have knowledge, who have understanding of the dharma, who are following the dharma themselves. And so this is a very, very important element, that this guidance has to be there. And so in leadership, one of the most important elements of leadership is the leader has to protect. And what does that mean, to protect? Just the human beings? Or no, actually the leader has to protect every living entity in his kingdom. Those who are born, those who are unborn, the trees and the animals and the land, everything has to be properly protected. Because there's a very delicate balance going on in this world. That balance has to be maintained. Otherwise, it'll lead to havoc and even more suffering. And so the leadership is required, and there's so many examples of proper leadership. The leader has to first and foremost think about his subjects or her subjects. But the thing is this, the leader has to, even before his own well-being, the leader is thinking about the welfare of the subjects. Just like there's a wonderful story of Rantidev. You know, there was a famine in his kingdom, and so people were suffering. But he had stored away, the king stored away huge storehouses of foodstuffs in his kingdom. And so rather than keeping them for himself, no, he immediately shared with all of the subjects. And they survived the famine. And so at the end, then his ministers were advising the king, please, your citizens are fine now. Now you must eat something. And so he sat down. They brought him a big plate of food, of prasadam. And he was about to eat when somebody showed up at his door. It was a stranger from a foreign land, and he was hungry. he had been traveling for some time. And so the king gave part of his offering to the stranger. And then a Brahmin showed up at his door. And the Brahmin also wanted some alms. And the king gave a little bit more of the offering to the Brahmin. And then somebody else, another stranger, showed up. I think he had 1 or 2 dogs, and they were all hungry. And so the king actually gave the rest of his plate to this gentleman. And all he had left was a cup of water. And he was about to drink the water when someone else showed up at the door. And this other person that showed up at the door was known to everyone. He was a very greedy and miserly person. This person who showed up at the door wouldn't help anybody if he had to. No. But still, now he was overwhelmed with thirst. And he asked the king, please give me something to drink. And so all he had left was a cup of water, and he gave this miserly, greedy person that really doesn't deserve anything. Still, the king gave him his cup of water. So this is the example, the quality of what we need to have as a leader. There's also a beautiful story of King Shibi. And this also exemplifies something else. Because not only are we protecting the human beings, but here this is the story of King Shibi, who is protecting a bird, a pigeon. So the gods actually, they're arranged, even with the story of King Ranti, I think also the gods, they were testing King Ranti. But here, with King Shibi, I think Indra and Agni, one of them assumed the form of a hawk, King Indra, I think. And the other assumed the form of a pigeon or a dove. And the hawk was attacking the pigeon. And the pigeon was flying here and there throughout the sky, trying to escape the attack of the hawk. And finally he flew down into the courtyard of King Shibi. And the dove pleaded with the king, please, this hawk is coming. This hawk wants to devour me. Please save me. And so, this is the principle in the Vedic the dharma, in the Vedic understanding, that whoever comes to the Kshatriyas or the kings or the leaders for protection, the Kshatriya or the leader, the king, if somebody comes, then you must give protection. That is the principle of the Kshatriyas and the leaders. So here, the dove is asking for protection, and the king, he guarantees, yes, of course I'll give you protection. And then immediately, then the hawk comes swooping down. And the king says, oh, you cannot touch this pigeon, I'm giving protection. And so the hawk is saying, well, you may be giving protection to the dove. Well, what about me? I'm just hungry. I need something to eat. And the king says, oh, I have a storehouse full of food. You can take whatever you like. And the hawk is laughing out loud. What are you talking about, a storehouse? That's all human food. I need my own food. And the way I eat requires eating some flesh. I wanted to take the flesh of this dove, this pigeon. So, if you cannot give me the flesh of this pigeon, then what type of flesh will you give me? And so the king thought, he said, well, I'll give you some of my flesh. And so what happened is the king, he arranged a scale to be brought. And he placed the dove on one side of the scale, and then he cut off a piece of flesh, thinking, the dove is very small. Usually birds, they don't weigh very much. And the king cut off a piece of his flesh from his leg, thinking, this is probably the amount of weight of the dove. And he put it on the other side of the scale. But when the scale moved, the part that the dove was on was sinking down. There wasn't enough flesh on the other scale to provide what the hawk needed. And so he cut off another piece of his flesh and he put it on. And still, the side that the dove was on was much heavier. It was going down. So the king was rather alarmed. And he cut off another little piece and he threw it on the scale. Still, the side of the dove was still heavier. And so the king, he put himself on the scale. He was ready to sacrifice himself on behalf of the dove to protect this little bird. And so in this way, that Prabhupada explains that nothing should be disturbed unnecessarily. Even a tree. In India, sometimes when people are cutting down a tree unnecessarily, there's outrage. Here, nobody is concerned. People see the earth and the resources of the earth just as some commodity, just as we're pillaging the earth and raping the earth just to make us wealthy. And so people, they don't understand that, like I mentioned earlier, that there's a very delicate balance. How do we live? How can we live a life where the earth will maintain its balance and yet we can provide us with our necessities? This is a big question. Living in comfort. Prabhupada doesn't deny that we should live in some comfort. No, we all need to have access. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter, it says at the dawn of creation, the Lord of all creatures, He provided, He made the humans and the demigods, and He made sacrifice for Vishnu. So the Lord, He made the humans, He made the demigods, all of the different creatures, and He also made some decree. He made the dharma, because the dharma is coming directly. This is the laws of the Supreme Lord. And so He made a decree that what is the sacrifice for the human beings, and how should they prosper? Everyone wants to live in prosperity. So the first thing is to follow the dharma in our own lives, to understand what is the dharma and to follow the dharma within our own lives. This is very essential. And this is what the entire Vedic system is all about. Like I mentioned earlier, there's the 4 pillars of dharma are truthfulness, compassion, cleanliness, and sacrifice. So this is what it means. Sacrifice means we have to make some accommodations to have some prosperity in our lives. That's undeniable. Even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita explains this. And Prabhupada keeps mentioning that the human beings, we all want peace and prosperity. This, Prabhupada mentions this on numerous occasions. Peace and prosperity. But how to get that peace and prosperity is another thing. And we don't want to be selfish about it. We don't want peace and prosperity at the stake of someone else's suffering. This is what is called adharma, impious, irreligious. And so all of these things have to be understood. That so one of the I wanted to come to my main point, because there's one of the elements of this sacrifice is introduced 500 years ago by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the Yuga Dharma. In every age there is a different aspects to sacrifice. And so in this age that we're living in, which is very unfortunate, there's so much difficulty. And so we need the most compassion. We need, if there's a child who may have some defect, then they may need additional assistance, whether in their learning. Some children may have attention deficit disorder. They need some guidance, some tutoring in their learning, or somebody may have a defect and they may need some additional help. And so in this way, we need a massive amount of additional help in the Kali Yuga. In the previous ages, there was various ways for self-realization. Usually people had to leave society, wander into the forest and up into the Himalayas. And there they can, in a sense, they can perform the biggest sacrifice. Living in the cold, barren of caves of the Himalayan mountains, and sitting and performing tapasya and meditation. No one's going to do that in this age. It's impossible. We cannot perform such sacrifice, such tapasya. We need something easier. So Chaitanya, actually, he has given us an easy approach to the Dharma and to self-realization by introducing the chanting of this holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And so Prabhupada says even a child can chant Hare Krishna. So the thing is, there's two ways to meditate. One, we have the japa mala. This is for individual meditation. On the mala, we can chant the holy name of Krishna. The devotees make a vow to chant, there's 108 beads on the mala. If you don't have one, I suggest you get some mala and make a vow every morning to get up. The devotees are making a vow to chant 16 rounds. It takes about an hour and 45 minutes or so to chant 16 rounds. But of course, if you're busy and if you have pressed for time, at least start with 1 or 2 rounds every morning. Get up and sit and meditate. You can do a round in 6 or 7 or 8 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. And so one can sit and meditate upon the sound vibration of Krishna's name. That's one aspect of the meditation. The other aspect of the meditation, as you have experienced here in the temple, the devotees are chanting together the Hare Krishna prayer in a congregational chanting. Everyone is raising their voices to chant the holy name of Krishna. And the thing is, Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, and like it's explained here, that the Lord has to come in various times and various ages to dissipate the darkness of ignorance. And now he has come in a very easy and a very accessible way, the chanting of his holy name. And so it's explained that Krishna has empowered his name. And so there are names of God all over the world. We have, one prayer in Sanskrit, 1,000 names of Vishnu. So the Brahmins are saying these prayers. But this is very easy. And not only in India, but there are names of God in cultures all over the world. In Islam, there are 99 names of Allah. There's also other names in the Bible and in various traditions, like in the Native American tradition here in America, the Lakota people, they have a name of God, Wankantanka. Wankantanka means the great mystery. We don't know God at all. He's very mysterious. His ways are very mysterious. So there's, in cultures around the world, there's some names for God. So these names of God are all powerful, but the name of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna prayer, it's called Maha Mantra. It's the great prayer that's most easily recited and most easily accessible to anyone and everyone around the world. Of course, Prabhupada says that if you have your own prayer, if your own name for God, then one can be satisfied with that. But we invite everyone, still, everyone also can chant the holy name of Krishna. So this is a very extraordinary thing. Because just like, for instance, if we were thirsty, and if we had no water, there's no water, and I'll chant, oh, I don't have any water, I'll just chant water, 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 water. But you know what? You'll find out if you chant water, water, you'll never ever quench your thirst. Because the word water is different than the experience of water. But here, in the holy names of God, the experience of God, God has empowered his holy names. And if we want to draw close to the Lord is already very close to us. He is residing within our hearts. This is undeniable. But our hearts are covered by layers and layers and layers of conditioning. There's so much dirt that is covering the heart, so much conditioning that we can't experience the Lord within our heart at this time. We have to come to the temple. Yes, so here we can experience, we can see the Lord. But the Lord is everywhere. The Lord is within our hearts. The Lord is in all places, in all circumstances and times. But it's always good to come and take darshan of the Lord in the temple. But it's also very crucial for us to experience the Lord within his holy name. And so as we chant, then the heart, all the chanting, the sound, vibration of the holy name will cleanse the heart, will wash away all of the dirt and the conditioning that is surrounding the heart. And so this is very important that Prabhupada has made a great endeavor to come to the West to give us this crucial teaching, this crucial bit of information. And this information actually is found in cultures all over the world. Just like in the Christian tradition, Jesus told his disciples that whenever you get together in my name, I will be present. So this is not some hidden information. This is an open secret. And Chaitanya, 500 years ago, he introduced this chanting, and he predicted that the chanting of the holy name of Krishna will spread all over the world to every town and to every village. And so Prabhupada, during his travels, he came to America at the age of 70 in 1965, and he traveled around the world for the last 12 years of his life. He came as a pauper. He didn't have a dime when he arrived in America. But amazingly enough, he was able to travel around the world, I think 14 times during the last 12 years of his life. So it's very extraordinary that Prabhupada has made this great endeavor. He fulfilled the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. And Chaitanya, he delivered what we know as the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy name. So we can chant Krishna's name, and gradually, because our hearts are covered, gradually this will be revealed to us. We'll get great pleasure in chanting his holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So are there any additional comments or questions that anyone has?
Thank you so much for a wonderful class, Sankirtan. I really appreciate it. You spoke about how leadership needs to have certain qualities, and you talked about how they need to be exemplary in their behavior, particularly that they follow the Dharma. And then you also mentioned that it's their duty to protect the citizens. And it seems like those two sort of go together with what we do here in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, that we have Srila Prabhupada that has given us very specific instructions about how we conduct our activities while we're living and serving here in the Dharma. And so I just wanted to really show my appreciation for you for mentioning that. And I have one question. How can we improve our leadership? What can one do if we need better leadership?
Better what?
Better leadership, or if we want to be better leaders. What sort of activities or what sort of things can one do?
The best thing is to serve the devotees and to serve others. There's a sage living during the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Vamana, I think his name was. He was like a sadhu, just totally living by himself. And he was asked a similar question. And he said there are three things that serve others, chant Hare Krishna, and respect everyone. Chant Hare Krishna and serve the Vaishnavas. So if one wants to make rapid advancement and protect his devotional kripa, the best thing to do is to serve the Vaishnavas. Actually, some years back I had a dream of Prabhupada. Everyone knew that Prabhupada had been left the world, but somehow or other he was returning, and devotees were very excited. And there was a big gathering in a courtyard. So many people at the courtyard was jam-packed, and devotees were asking Prabhupada different questions. And we knew that Prabhupada wasn't going to stay for very long, that he was going to leave us again. And so one devotee asked, Prabhupada, in your absence, how can I serve you? Prabhupada said, just serve the devotees, then you are serving me directly. So this is very important. And you had mentioned one thing, that the king or the leader serves the citizens or protects the citizens. But actually, it's more than the citizens. Anyone who comes for protection, the leader or the king gives protection to anyone who seeks protection. This is very important. Just like this is explained in one story in Ramayana, because Ram and the monkey warriors, they were going south to southern India to attack Lanka. And they came to the shores of the ocean, and they were waiting. They were camped there. They didn't know how to proceed next. But then, who shows up at the camp? Vibhishan. Vibhishan is the brother of Ravana, the great demon. And he's been giving Ravana counsel, trying to give him some good advice. But Ravana is not taking the advice. Some people, Vibhishan especially, is saying, give Sita back to, otherwise you'll destroy this kingdom. And so Ravana wouldn't accept any good advice. And so Vibhishan got frustrated, and he left Lanka. He left the association of his brother. He and several other of his ministers, they went to the camp on the other side of the ocean. They went to the camp of Ram. And all of the monkeys, they were in a tizzy. The brother of the Ravana, the great demon king of Lanka, he has come here. What does he want? Does he want to undermine our strength? Is he here to detect what we're going to do and take it back to his brother? We can't trust this Vibhishan fellow very much. So everyone was in a commotion. Everyone was giving Ram the advice to reject this Vibhishan character. But Ram asked Hanuman, because Hanuman had been previously in Lanka. Hanuman allowed himself to be captured. And so Vibhishan actually, Ravana wanted to kill Hanuman, but Vibhishan stepped in. And he said, oh, you cannot kill this person. He is a messenger. A messenger should not be killed. A messenger deserves our protection. And so Ravana didn't kill Hanuman, but he tried to dishonor him in other ways. But so Hanuman explained his experience of what Vibhishan was, that Vibhishan had a good understanding of the dharma. And so when Hanuman gave his advice, he said, I'm giving you my advice, my perspective, but you are totally independent, Lord Ram. You do whatever you like. And so Ram replied that, it's the nature of a scorpion to sting, but it's my nature, the nature of a leader, is to be magnanimous, is to give protection to those that seek protection. So even if an enemy comes to seek protection, so there are many instances, there are many examples in the ancient stories, the ancient literatures. That's why Prabhupada explains that the Mahabharata and the Ramayana and the Srimad Bhagavatam, these books are considered the fifth Veda. The four Vedas, they are steeped in kind of ritual. They're also giving advice to honor and pray to various demigods for various assistance and for various gifts. But the Mahabharata and the Ramayana and the Srimad Bhagavatam only focus on praying to the Supreme Lord. Whatever we need ultimately is supplied by the Supreme Lord. Pray to the Supreme Lord for to maintain us and to protect us. And time and again, this is what the sages are doing. This is what the demigods are doing. In the Bhagavatam, whenever there's some difficulty, and they don't know how to cope with the difficulty, what do? They turn to the Supreme Lord. And so there's many stories in the Bhagavatam, including even the story of Krishna's appearance. What did the sages do? They went with Lord Brahma to Svetadvip, and they prayed to the intervention of the Supreme Lord. They prayed to Lord Vishnu. And he promised that, yes, I'll come and help you. And so in this way, we need some help and some guidance and assistance. So either the Lord is coming directly, or he's sending his representative, the Guru, and he's also sending the sadhus and the Shastra, and in this age especially, that we should take advantage of, he is coming in the form of his holy name. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. You know where they're serving the prasadam? Is it? Okay. So I must thank you one and all. If you're here later on this afternoon at 4:30, I'll be doing some Mahabharata Katha right here in the temple. If you'd like to join me for maybe a half hour or 35 minutes at 4:30, and I'll be sharing, so people have asked me, I've been living here quite some time, and people ask me, can you tell us a little bit about how this place was chosen to be New Vrindavan? So if you'd like to hear a couple of stories from the Mahabharata, and a story about the early days of New Vrindavan, how it started in 1968, please join me here today at 4:30. So I must thank you one and all for coming to visit with us. Have a great weekend. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
It's been Sankirtan Prabhu ki.
relax করতে negros.
start at 9:30?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just chant until Jai Krishna,